Hello people, Mr. B here. It's the morning after the FA Cup final defeat to Wigan, so I thought I'd just put a few ramblings out on the Hammers Chat channel. I think first things first, a couple of apologies even. One for the glare coming off of my forehead, which looks as though it's actually quite intense, and also sort of in advance, probably for this your shout, because I think at the end of the day, I'm probably going to get more of those not likey things than I am of those likey things. But it's all about opinions. This is just my feelings. If you don't like it, it's a free country. But hey, so let's crack on. First, obviously first the FA Cup because it's topical. I think like most people, yeah, everybody wanted a cup run, but there's some people. And it's a school of thought out there that it is more important than staying in the league. Some people would love to go on a great cup run, win it, and be happy to get relegated. My take on it, I just can't see that. Yeah, and a cup run's nice. To win it would be wonderful, but not to jeopardise our Premier League sort of status. I think maybe, hopefully, you live in hope that you've been a West Ham supporter, but in a year or two, if we've got a manager in, and hopefully it's Moyes, but somebody in there who's got us into that sort of top half of the table where we're sitting 10, 11, 12 points clear of the drop zone, and can probably go for a bit with a bit more oomph behind us, with a better squad behind us. But this season it wasn't the season to do it. I mean, we're 4 points off of the drop zone is nothing, and okay, we are 11th, and it's a nice position to be in, but we could quite easily be bottom 2, bottom 3 again in a couple of days. In a couple of games. So it's to me, it's imperative that as much as we want the cup run, staying in the Premiership to me is what it's all about. I mean, I want us to be playing, your Tottenhams, your Chelseas, your Liverpools, your Man U's next year, not being like. I don't know, pick any of the number of teams that are down there now in the Championship. People like Villa, Norwich, Ipswich have all played Premiership football, Sheffield Wednesday. I bet most of their supporters would absolutely love to be back up in the Premiership. And once you go down, it's hard to get back up again. And I personally wouldn't want to jeopardise it. I know Moyes' his stance is, Premiership survival is imperative. And at this season, I can see it. So it is disappointing, and I think probably a lot of the younger lads that go that have never been to a final or certainly never seen a victory. I mean, obviously the Gerrard wonder strike in 2006, which killed us. That was a painful day that will live in my memory forever. So. I'd love to go to a final. I'd love us to win it again. It has been too long, but for me, not to jeopardise our status in the top flight. If we go down, the players that we like watching, your Arnautovic's, your Lanzini's, Declan Rice's, people like that, they'll be gone. We won't maintain the squad that we've got down in the division below. It's not going to happen. And then you're into, re-signing. Probably maybe players that have played for us before and not made the grade, Fletchers and people like that, and journeymen and a coupled together team, rather than seeing some good quality individuals. I say, Bonner, people like that, Obiang, they won't hang around. Absolutely no way. So, as I say, my take on it, I want us to stay in the top flight. But talking about the FA Cup and what happened yesterday, I'm not going to kind of go over that because I'm sure that's been done to death. But I've even heard a few sort of social media, or seen a few social media things about getting rid of Moyes on the back of it. I mean, are these people deluded or what? What is he supposed to do with the squad that he's inherited, which is down to the bare bones? Okay. Tell me who he could have actually put in there to have made it much better. Okay, the team that was out there didn't do themselves justice at all. I think maybe Gio even said it on the review last night that there was a change of formation back to a 4-4-2, and I can't see why he did that. I mean, the three at the back seems to have been working. I would have stuck with that if I was him personally, but you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and obviously he sees him in training, and he was obviously working to set up on a 4-4-2. But it was just such an inept performance, and I just feel so sorry for those 4,000 odd people that made that trek up to Wigan. And I've been up there. I've been to the DWCS, and it's a long haul, and it's an even longer haul back if you're going to get pummeled by a League One side. So you know, major respect to the people that went up there, but you know, as regards David Moyes, I really don't see what he could have done. And you know, again, I've seen people say, well, there were 70 defenders on the pitch. Well, there was, but again, other than maybe putting Keena on, or maybe Hasko Banovic, or whatever his name is, what other attacking options were there? There was just nothing on the bench. We are just down to the bare bones. So, you know, I think Moyes was right, resting a couple of players that had maybe like slight knocks, get them in readiness for hopefully getting a result against Palace. Yeah, but if people again really wanted us to jeopardise those and have even more longer term injuries for the sake of getting into the next round of the cup again, I can't see it. You know, I think he played it right. Maybe his tactics were wrong. Maybe when Obiang went off was a time to maybe put Keena or somebody like that on there. But we'll never know. What we do know is that a lot of those players didn't cover themselves in glory, and I'm afraid, you know, we've been calling for some of the youngsters. That was a real opportunity to stand up, be counted, and show what you're all about. And it just didn't happen. You know, for the first goal, I partly blame Burke. I'm not being funny, but I think if Ginge had been defending that, would that have got in? I don't think so. I think Ginge would have made that his, or would have made it more uncomfortable for Will Grigg. Don't even get going on Hart. I mean, hopefully the only good thing to come out of it, that's his last game he'll ever play for us, and he can go back to wherever he wants to. But I don't really ever want to see him in a West Ham shirt again. The other youngsters, Cullen, again, you know, it was again a good opportunity to put your foot on the ball, you know, put a stamp on it, and he didn't for large periods of the game. He was lost. He runs around a lot, but it doesn't affect the game, you know. And that's at a game like that against supposedly lesser grade players. So he's not going to do it in the. I just can't see him doing it in the Premiership when you've got some real quality against you. So you know, he's another one. Quite disappointed. Martinez, you know, again, under 23s and that, he looks electric, he looks superb. But when you start playing up against, like, you know, big bulky old 27, 28-year-old centre-halves, the defender there had him in his pocket yesterday. His touch, he's proved yesterday, his touch is dreadful. You know, he can't hold the ball up, he can't bring people into play. Everything that was coming into him, he was getting beaten in the air, or if it was to feet, it was pinging off him. You know, he was really, really struggling yesterday, and he works hard. You know, certainly first half he worked hard, but again, Premiership player, you know, I just don't think so. I think he needs to. I think he could be a good player, and I think he will be a good player. But I think he needs to go out on loan and have a season or 2 seasons in the Championship, or even in League One, and just start banging goals in, build himself up a bit more, and show what he's all about. You know, much as I hate him, Harry Kane did that. He went away. I remember my boy playing with him at Orient. He did that grounding in the lower leagues and come back and took his chance. But you know, yesterday proved to me Martinez is a way away from getting in or warranting a first team start. Who else we got? I mean, Oxford is another one. I don't know if Oxford's confidence was knocked or something after he was dropped a couple of seasons ago when he made that amazing start when he was going to be the next thing since sliced bread, and obviously he's rotted in the reserves a bit and gone away to Germany and sees his future elsewhere because he was diabolical. You know, to come on and just be completely and utterly anonymous for somebody who warrants his wage every week is an absolute piss take. If he wants to go to Germany, get on a plane and go. again, he doesn't offer anything at all. I just think the whole lot was dire. Hernandez, again, he spends more time on the floor. Okay, maybe not playing to his system or he wants, but he just doesn't work hard enough for me. He doesn't warrant that kind of money. I mean, he's earning more in a week than us regular people are probably earning in 3, 4, 5 years. They don't. Most of them out there, I don't say all of them, but most of them, they're just not playing for the badge, and it's really, really disappointing. The only one I think I've got any respect for out there, believe it or not, is Bonner, because that poor soul, I think, has played just about every game since like December. If anybody's due a break, not literally, it's him, because he must be knackered, because he has, say, literally every game he's putting his heart and soul into it, and he gets a lot of respect from me for that. And without him, I think we would be shipping a lot more goals. And then that brings us down to my final point, and that's Mr. Masuaku. Now, again, probably controversial one, funny enough, because I was going to put something out about him a little while ago. He had that one game where he was absolutely superb, absolutely, turned turned defenders inside out, absolutely brilliant. He did that clever little bit of skill, leaving two of the top defenders like standing looking at themselves. But other than that, I would like somebody to tell me what he actually does, what he brings to the side. You might get a little dribble and one cross per game. Is that effective? I don't think so. And I just think, excuse me, I just think he's overrated. He's a baller, yeah, great, but with not a lot of end product. And then, to me, he's not first name on the team sheet. I'd love somebody who could really, absolutely know a left wing position and whip balls in all the time. But he dillies and dallies. Invariably, his first ball's back, or he tries all the fancy stuff. Sometimes it works and it looks great, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of King Arthur. I'm really not. And then it just takes it into another level by gobbing at somebody. I mean, that is just the lowest of the low, isn't it? You don't do that. I mean, there's a line, and he is like, he's not only stepped over it, he's gobbed over it. He's just, to me, I don't want people like that playing for West Ham. Okay, he may have been racially abused. Somebody may have said something not very nice to him, but you're a professional footballer. You rise above it, and if needs be, you talk to the officials and point out what's been said. But you don't retaliate by flemming up over somebody, because that is just wrong on every level. And a bit like Gonzo said last night, if he never plays for West Ham ever again, I personally won't be disappointed. So there you go. That's my little your shout for today. Hopefully we get something on Tuesday. And onwards and upwards. Come on, you Irons.